we're at the Palais Omnisport in Bercy for the Paris Open, the 9th and final stop on the IBM ATP Tour Championship Series single-week events, what we call the Super 9. We've reached the semifinal stage, and our feature match today is between Andre Agassi and Sergi Bruguera of Spain. Hi everyone, I'm Maricolo in the Players Lounge. Earlier today in the first semifinal of the Paris Open, the hard-serving Swiss Marc Rosset took out Michael Chang, severely damaging Chang's chances of qualifying for the ATP Championships in Frankfurt in 10 days' time. So have a look at the draw. It's Rosset on through to the final. He now awaits the winner between our feature match of Andre Agassi and Sergi Bruguera. Bruguera has made his way into the semis without facing a seed. Courier, Edberg, and Kafelnikov were all in his section. They were all gone. Andre Agassi took out the #1 player in the world and top seed Pete Sampras 7-6, 7-5 in a brilliant display of passing shots, running, and hard hitting. Joining me now, Luke Jensen. And Luke, Andre Agassi has really been playing fall ball.
Well, ever since that win at the U.S. Open, that exciting win, he's won Vienna, semis of Stockholm, and now the semis of Paris Indoor. He is rolling.
Why?
Well, I think Brad Gilbert has really got him playing tough tennis. That Winning Ugly book that Brad had out has really gotten him. I think Andre's reading into that and saying, hey, I've got to tough it out. It's fun to compete. It's fun to win when it's ugly.
Well, Sergi Bruguera, his opponent in the semi today, is actually a very good indoor player. People think of him as a clay courter, but this is his third indoor semi of '94.
Well, of course, all of those were in Europe also. I mean, he loves playing in Europe. He loves the dirt, but he can also play out here, and he loves playing against Andre. These guys practice against each other all the time, and these guys go toe-to-toe and crank up the topspin.
Who do you think will win?
I think Andre's got the edge because it is on an indoor surface. But again, they love playing against each other, and they're just going to have a lot of fun. Andre is already qualified now for Frankfurt. His back was against the wall all fall, and he came through, but now he can kind of sit back and just ride the wave out.
All right, this could be a real war. Bruguera Agassi next. Our coverage of the Paris Open is being brought to you by IBM. There is a difference. And by De Beers. A diamond is forever. Coming up, semifinal action between Andre Agassi and Sergi Bruguera of Spain. Chang again in jeopardy to make the Frankfurt Championship in 10 days' time, the ATP Championship. Have a look at the Frankfurt 5, who have already secured themselves a spot in the year-end championships. Pete Sampras is in. He was the first guy in. Sergi Bruguera is also in. So is Ivanisevic, Becker. And this week, Andre Agassi qualified. That means that there is still room for 3 at the party of 8. Michael Chang, again, could have secured himself a spot at the table, but he lost to Rosset. Stefan Edberg needs more points to get in, and he knows that he took a wild card into Antwerp next week. Michael Stich is also playing Antwerp. Barasategi is playing in South America, trying to backdoor his way in a smaller tournament. Todd Martin is playing in Moscow next week to keep his hopes alive. Kafelnikov and Ferreira, real long shots now. But these two are already in, and Luke, you know, Andre Agassi had a match point last week against Goran Ivanisevic and said he choked. He choked it because he was nervous. Now that he's in, he's wailing.
He's going for it. Last night was unbelievable. You talked about smoke coming off the court from the last match. I mean, this place was on fire last night. He and Pistol Pete Sampras were going toe-to-toe, and he had such a breakthrough in that match. Finally beating Pete Sampras. He had a shot at him at the Lipton earlier this year. He could have taken the default. He was an unbelievable sportsman, played out the match, went down, but now has gotten top of his game, going for it.
It really was something. They were rattling the rafters. Andre Agassi, a 24-year-old out of Las Vegas. He still lives there. He's got a palatial home, his own gym.
His own jet.
His own jet. And he's looked very, very strong here in Paris. The court is a little bit slower than last week in Stockholm. In fact, some players say much, much slower. He got a bye, then he beat Jason Stoltenberg in 3. Took down Todd Martin, and again, that hurt Martin's chances for the Frankfurt event. And then Pete Sampras, 6-5. As you mentioned, Pete Sampras was ill at the Lipton final. Agassi gave him an extra hour to recover, and then Pete ended up beating him in 3 sets. But Agassi, both in top form last night, and Agassi looked very, very good. Sergi Bruguera is 1 year younger than Andre Agassi and quite a few inches taller. From Barcelona, he still lives there. And Bruguera, again, we have to stop thinking of this guy as strictly a dirt baller. He plays very well indoors. He got a bye in the first round, then beat the German Bernd Karbacher 4-3. Took out Mark Woodford 6-3. Woody had knocked out Jim Courier And then in the quarterfinals, he beat Peter Korda, 3-6. Head-to-head, these two have played 3 times before. In fact, they played at the Canadian Open. That's an outdoor hard court earlier this summer. We watched that on ESPN. Agassi took that after dropping the first set, winning 1 in the third. They played a couple of times on clay, and they've split their efforts there. And really, look, this could be sort of a clay court match because the court is slow. It's kind of dead because this Terraflex surface is laid out over wood. And if it is going to become a baseline battle, who wins? They're both pretty good.
Agassi's still going to win. This is his year. He's winning the U.S. Open. He's winning Vienna a couple of weeks ago. Semis of Stockholm, beating Pete, big hurdle, beating Todd Martin, who's always been kind of a thorn the last couple of years. But these guys enjoy playing against each other. They bang, they crank. Topspin are just out of the building today, all over the place. Big forehands, big groundies.
Andre Agassi, after he beat Pete Sampras last night, was very obviously delighted, and he said, I think this is a heck of a start to an Agassi-Sampras rivalry. He also said, from here on in, I'm hoping I don't have to play Sampras in the quarters anymore. And in fact, Andre Agassi is exactly right about that. If he wins this match and then wins the title here, he will go up to a career-high #2 in the world, which means he and Pete Sampras could be vying for championships, and that would be a great rivalry. Jan Tiriac watching on.
Drago. Oh, yeah, him and the Dragon Man and at the same match?
That's going to be big. Cause
that's the real matchup down here.
Jan Tiriac. Luis Bruguera, Sergi's father, is someone that Luke Jensen calls Dragon Man. You'll see why soon enough. Bruguera to serve first.
S'il vous plaît, prenez vos places rapidement, on commence.
That one called wide. Yeah, it's funny you say these two are good buddies, Bruguera and Agassi, and they practice together a lot. Really, how many other guys can really hit back the strokes that they hit to each other?
There's no doubt. They both, each shot is just perfectly timed. They move the ball around. They love to run. Brad Gilbert, Andre Agassi's coach.
Since this spring, a 2-time finalist here at the Paris Open.
Wherever there's the big money, you know Brad's playing and winning. But going back, these guys love the topspin.
That sails.
And, you know, they're going to move each other around a lot. Just a lot of movement. You're going to see a lot of great ground stroking ability. Again, we talked about the short angles they're going to produce, the deep winners from the forehand and backhand side. Not much net play today. Watch Andre trying to hit that forehand off the second serve.
Yanked that one slightly wide. 30 all.
You see, they go toe-to-toe. You know, let's get into a backhand rally. Let's hit some cross courts and go for it.
Gets the call, Bruguera. Makes the call himself. Agassi taking a little bit of a fashion risk. He's got on a black sock and a white sock. I don't know why he does things like that. He's been doing them all week.
No, that's a gimmick game. You're talking about the socks right there.
Yeah.
He had the black socks on all summer, And now he's going for the yin and the yang type of feel.
Oh, it's a yin-yang. I
Actually,
thought he's making a mild transition from black to white, but
That
perhaps not. Game point, Bruguera. Pulls that one too. A couple of unforced errors from Andre Agassi, and Bruguera holds. First game, first set. Martin and Stiek, and then in Vienna just a few weeks ago, he beat Ivanisevic and Stiek.
Right away, it looks like Sergi's really getting off the ball, staying on his toes. Andre's making a few too many errors. But again, taking the ball early, taking some chances. The knife approach shot from Serge. Dumps the volley. But he had to run all over the place. Look at this. Running, 6-2. Knife approach. He doesn't do this. He doesn't have this game. On top of the net, should have put it away. Dumped it. He has that funny grip, that Western grip.
You can see him changing his grip. That super slow-mo gives a good look at the fact that he had to make a quick adjustment at the end there. Not comfortable at the net, 30-15.
Both of these players are going to try to get a lot of first serves in high percentage. They're not big servers. Again, we talked about Chang not a big server. Rosé is the only big server in the semis, showing that the court is so fair to all the players, unlike Stockholm.
40-15. That's right. Stockholm was an affair really between the big servers of the week. Semis here. The only guy who really relies on his serve is the finalist Marc Rosé, beating Chang. A very fine year for Sergi Bruguera. He defended 3 of his titles from last year, including the French Open, where he beat Medvedev, Courier, and Berrettini in the final. And in Prague, he beat Medvedev again. Amazing that Andre Medvedev, he was having such a good-looking year, and he is way out of the race for Frankfurt. He won 2 Super 9 titles, and he still has no chance.
You have to win throughout the year.
What angles.
This is why they like to practice against each other. Look at this, just shot-making ability from the backcourt. This is Andre's shot, and Serge did one better.
Geometry lesson here. How to create angles.
Underneath the ball, the racket accelerating up, creating that angle.
30 love. Called wide.
Just rolling it in, not trying to hit any aces.
Just bend them in the box. Wide. That's his 5th unforced error in the early stages of set 1 in this semifinal of the Paris Open. Points and prize money. The cash stashed already by Marc Rosset, $176,000 and change. And of course, the all-important points in these final days before the ATP Championships. The men on the tour have been trying to collect those points all year long.
This tournament has always brought out the dough.
That's true. One of the great spots on the IBM ATP Tour is this. And because of, you know, the suchness of the situation, waiting for some people to sit down, sold out crowd here, the Paris Open. Of course, it is in the final weeks, the fields are always so deep.
Going back to Medvedev, he didn't really have a great Grand Slam year. You can win, you've got to win the Grand Slam, so you've got to win the other tournaments. Here the Sergi backhand, showing the footwork. Doesn't like that call. Sergi's very different from other baseliners. He blocks a lot of his returns. Most guys, Chang, Agassi, Courier, hit over the returns. He'll stay in the pocket and just block it back. Just get the, he has these extreme grips. We talked about the best returners, Connors, Chang, Agassi, hold the same grip for the forehand and the backhand. Sergi doesn't do that. He has an extreme Western grip, and he has an extreme Western grip on the backhand. So he has, you know, some serious change going on.
So he can't take a full-blooded swing at the returns the way the other guys can.
So he just blocks it back, starts it up, and he gets in big trouble against serve and volleyers because of that.
40 love.
He'll take a crack at this second, though. When he has time, he can wail.
First double fault.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Sergi was going to run around the backhand, hit a forehand, 40 love, mix it up, go down the middle.
Nice easy hold from Agassi.
No one really considers Andre an aggressive serve and volley player, but he does use his ground strokes as great weapons for approaching and coming in. When he won Wimbledon, a huge point, he came in behind one of his serves and knocked off an Ivanisevic return, you know, on a break point down. And he has studied the Connors game so much through his youth and through his professional career, he knows when to come in.
Well, that's exactly what Connors was able to do so well. He'd create a situation where he was a one volley guy because his approaches were so big. Agassi gobbling up the court there.
Now again, he is in control because he is staying on the baseline and cutting down the recovery time that Sergi Bruguera has to run down the ball. Sergi's 5 to 6 feet behind the baseline. There's Andre, the running forehand, lunging at it, recovering again. The speed that he has gotten back.
He really is a whole lot fitter than he's been in recent years. And he's off that junk food diet, isn't he? Much to your chagrin. You used to like eating all of his junk food. On air, Agassi, his jet. And now he's eating what, like mashed yeast and acorns? He's not.
Oh,
totally.
gravel. Everything's fat-free, low-cal. I can't even keep up with him anymore. But we'd make runs to the border and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, those days are over. Agassi's for real again. 15-30.
But he has really made a decision on his time off to really get fit, to watch what he's eating. Gil Reyes, his physical coach, has really made it a point to watch his diet.
And a break-point chance for Andre Agassi.
I mean, he was strong, but he wasn't quick. You go back to the '88 year. He was thin as a rail. Of course, he was 17, 18 years old. but he needed that strength. He's at perfect weight right now.
He had gotten into that whole idea of bulking up, but it thickened him, but made him slower. Another unforced from Agassi. That's his 7th.
Early in the match. Watch him take advantage of the second serve, run around the backhand. Nice return.
In previewing this match, Agassi said of Bruguera, a guy like Sergi likes to control the point, and a guy like myself likes to control the point. And it's going to be who's taking the ball earlier, who's seeing the ball cleaner, who's hitting more confidently and effectively. Basically, this is baseline to baseline, banging away.
That's what he's looking for. It was a good kick serve, though. He had to run out of the way. He couldn't really roll it in the court because he was pulled out. So even if he made it, Sergi had the whole court to go into. There's Jan Tiriac again.
Second deuce of this game.
That's it. He ran Sergi all over the planet. He loves doing it. He calls it running him coast to coast, especially on this surface. It's nice and slow. The ball will set up for you. Hits it down the line. So many people talk about Andre's huge forehand. When his backhand down the line is clicking, no one can beat him. He sets it up with the cross-court backhand, the big forehands, knocks it off down the line with the backhand.
Break point again. There is the break. Agassi takes an early lead in this first set. Tomorrow is Championship Sunday of the Paris Open. Please join us at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, for the best of 5-set final here. Marc Rosset has already worked his way into that championship match. The winner here will take on the Swiss. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Agassi serving at 3-2.
Taking that ball early is just pulled off of it a little bit. 9 unforced errors. But he's up a break. Really going for it again. Sergi hits such a heavy ball. It's going to take a while for Andre to get used to that heavy topspin. Pete hits more of a flat ball, which he just munched last night.
Pete Sampras has always talked about, when the subject of rivalries came up with Pete, he always talked about Andre Agassi and Jim Courier. Jim Courier has really fallen off the map. You know, he's just barely hanging on to the top 15 now after an early exit here to Mark Woodford of Australia. Hopefully he'll come back strong in 95. That got called long.
Jim's whole thing is not for a lack of effort. That guy's up here at 7 o'clock in the morning just biting, chewing nails for breakfast and
Is that
going
part of the
for it.
problem? Is he too intense instead of, you know?
It's hard to believe you can be too intense. I think he wants it very badly. He's very focused, and he's come to do his job every day. Was #1 for 2 years. When you're a #1 player like that, you expect excellence. He's had to work so hard for his points.
Especially in the fall season. He doesn't like this indoor stuff.
It's tough for these guys because they you run through the lift and the slow hard courts, the summer season, the spring and the clay, and then you just get hit with these big servers coming out just banging away. Your World Championships is in this type of surface. It's very difficult for him, but he will be back.
Ugh.
It's just running all over the place. Again, Andre showing his quickness, pulled all the way off the court, almost into the locker room. Look at this. He's in the locker room back here. He has to cover 50-some miles and just dumps it. He got there. That's really frustrating when you run that down. You finally get there and you just dump it. Didn't need to do anything. He just wanted to block it back. Right on the tape.
Still game point for Agassi.
There's that backhand down the line. When he has that thing clicking, he loves that shot.
Who's that?
The Dragon Man.
Luis Bruguera watches on.
Great kick serve. That is Andre's best serve. Pulls the player off the court. Opens up. There's that dice forehand. Great volley right on top of the net.
And a 4-2 lead for Agassi.
That's an excellent shot. Again, moving the ball around. Andre using the slice to change up. Sergi using the court. It's not necessarily how deep you hit it, getting the angles, pulling your opponent off the court. Here's a nice backhand that we didn't see.
Taking our pictures from Paris television. They can get very artistic and also very funky. Another one.
It's
Mangled
difficult.
that one a bit.
Again, he's not used to all that junk on the ball right now.
There's a lot of work on the balls of both these fellows, and also the court really takes any kind of
The
work.
ball's been, Andre's been complaining about the balls being very light compared to last week where they're very hard, moving through the air like bullets. Now they're floating a little bit on them.
Ace number 2 for Bruguera.
108 miles an hour. Again, that's about how high, you know, the guy's 6'2", he's pretty strong, upper body and everything, but just rolls it in there, hit the placement for an ace. That's only 100 miles an hour. It's hard to believe.
He's not playing great tennis, but Andre Agassi is still keeping his nose in front, up a break in the first set. Back to the 12th century. It's one of the magnificent symbols of Paris and all of France, sitting in the center of the River Seine. Back indoors in Bercy, we're on the eastern edge of Paris. Andre Agassi serving with new balls.
New bullets, Mary. New bullets.
Sorry.
New bullets.
I gotta get this jargon down. A private argot of Luke Jensen continues to amaze. Again, that one just a bit big.
Andre likes to slice that first serve in the deuce court wide to the Sergi forehand. See how he blocked it? It's going to float up. Andre's going to start taking advantage of that. Loves to come in behind, knock it off during important points for winners. Starting out to be a bad game. He hit the great serve. He loves that kicker out wide to pull the player off the court. The ball came a little low, didn't bounce up. Had to adjust. And I think it almost took a bad bounce out there.
6 unforced errors on the forehand side alone. 7 off the backhand. Not too clean so far.
There's that backhand down the line. He'll just work it. He'll set you up. He'll hook you, and then he'll fry you with that backhand down the line.
The old hook and fry routine, huh?
Clean him and fry him.
15-30.
Look for the serve down the middle.
Something like
Excellent stuff. Again, pulling him off the court. He missed one earlier in this game. This time execution was perfect. Grade A. Great serve down the middle. Gets the Chips Ahoy return. That's not going to cut against the A train. Look, it pulls him off the court. Look at that. The Punisher.
that. So from love 30 to 30 all. Again, that's the danger of having extreme grips, isn't it? It hurts you. It hurts you on returns. It hurts you at the net.
That's right. You've got to be able to explode off the return sometimes. The blocking is good against a big server, but against a guy like Andre.
Works in doubles too, but.
Again, they call him the Punisher because he's not just going lights out, going in these patches. He'll work the point better than anyone in the game. Hit it cross court, hit it down the line, move the player around, bring him in a little bit, push him back, hit the high looper. We haven't seen the high looper yet.
And Luke, I honestly feel that Agassi can do that kind of work now on the court because he's so fit. He's fit enough to work a point. That's a nice play. Not enough on that Agassi volley.
It's very difficult. It was a high backhand volley. Should have switched hands and hit a lefty overhead. Nice return. Look at this right here. Just right down the center to the forehand.
15 love.
But again, Andre putting so much pressure on the Bruguera serve, hitting offensively, coming in behind it. Bruguera having to come up with massive passing shots just to stay in the game.
15 all. And another ace from Bruguera.
But again, under 100 miles an hour.
Yep, he's just finding nice parts of the box, isn't he? That's his third ace. Agassi without any yet.
That was the right play, just wasn't strong enough. Again, mixing it up, staying back some, attacking some. The premier returner in Andre Agassi, he gets aced a lot. Doesn't, you know, like a Sampras or a Bruguera every once in a while.
Got him there.
Because he gambles.
Right.
He reads the serve better than anybody else, and he just kind of picks his spot. And if it's not right, he gets aced.
Right.
But if he guesses right, I mean, there's trouble for the server. Just unloading. Again, the movement is so key. The socks are just helping him out here, just getting right behind the ball.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Because you can't really see his footwork, you know. It's hard for Bruguera to see what's going on over there.
It's a confusing thing.
It's a great gimmick.
It is.
Unbelievable gimmick. There's this looper. You see it? He's been driving, and all of a sudden Bruguera's up on the baseline looking for the drive, and Andre rolls it nice high over the net, deep into the court, so Sergi's off his back foot, makes the air into the net.
For deuce.
Good scramble point by Andre, but Sergi just moving it around. Again, this is why these guys love to play against each other. So much respect for the great dig. It was a great lob. It almost hit the roof. Have this one of these huge scoreboards up here.
Bruguera at only 42% first serves in. Not a good idea against Agassi. He pays for it.
That's his shot, money ball. You don't look for that. You look for his big forehand. You look for his cross-court dip backhand and things like that. But he's got that one, and that is dangerous. Again, Andre gambling. 4 aces for Serge.
Out wide, Bruguera holds, but Agassi still leads 5-4 first set. Super 9 results throughout 1994. Sampras came out smoking, took Indian Wells and took Key Biscayne to Lipton, where he beat Agassi. We talked about that match. Then Andre Medvedev scored big in Monte Carlo. He beat Bruguera in that final, and he won Hamburg as well. Sampras took the Italian Open over Becker. Agassi took Toronto.
I mean, toe-to-toe, this is a heavyweight fight. Andre was in this fight yesterday with Pete Sampras. Andre at the wheel. Look at this. Heavy forehands from both players here. Andre picking it right off the baseline and just rips it. That's just too good.
Chang won Cincinnati to finish off the Super 9, and then last week, Becker beat Ivan Isevich in 4 sets in the Stockholm final. This is the last Super 9.
Again, Sergi is 6 to 7 feet behind the baseline, being pushed around by the Punisher, who stays on the baseline, just moving him side to side. Like the first point, Sergi has to come up with some unbelievable forehand to win the point. Andre's just dictating things right from the start. Again, not making errors, but just punishing his opponents, moving him side to side.
15 all.
Andre taking it to the net, forcing the weak shot off a deep ground stroke. Here's Sergi running for his life near the clock back there. Again, running it, guesses right. Gets this one back, but not strong enough.
(30-15).
Another big forehand. 2 of these this game have brought him the 30 all, but again, he cannot survive this way.
They both move so well. It takes a lot to open up a point.
I mean, you have to hit the thing on the line behind the guy, just catch him just right to hit an outright winner.
30 all.
It's Andre's ability to come to the net just like that. Kind of pushed that first volley and almost paid the price because Sergi ran it down. Great approach shot. Look at this. backhand. Kind of pushed it a little bit. The flying Spaniard just getting it back. Great forehand volley. Look at him, stay low. The racket head is above the wrist. Eyes on the ball. Hits the open court.
Set point.
That's his shot. I think it's only the first one he's missed down the line all day, but it was short into the court. He was going for it. You can't be upset about taking that kind of point, that kind of ball, and going for it. Deuce game. He had the forehand a little, slapped it, you know, a little too much, a little too crazy. 16 unforced errors, though.
A lot off that forehand side. He is going for it, as you
He
said.
is going for it. He's putting the pressure on. Sergi has felt the pressure, but has somehow stayed in this match, in this set.
First break chance for Sergi Bruguera.
Expect Andre to serve and come in off of this first serve. Monster ball! Look at this stuff. Backhand down the line off a huge shot from Bruguera. Agassi taking it to Bruguera once again. Look at this. He's 6 to 7 feet behind the baseline, running all the way around. He's in Spain right now. He has to run all the way back to Croatia. Or is it Moscow? No chance. Andre sticking on that baseline. Great stuff.
Second deuce. Back in Paris.
See, that's a bad error. He moved Sergi so much on that break point. That's just the loose error. Bad footwork. And that's what the Punisher will do to you. He will break you down.
Yeah. You can't recover after that kind of work.
Because Andre will pick it up. It's like a no-huddle offense in football. It's like a fast break, showtime type of Laker offense, Magic Johnson. He will take it to you time and time again. Won't let you rest. Doesn't matter if the crowd's going nuts or not. He's playing.
Set point, Agassi. That's it. That's it. In 43 minutes, Agassi secures the first set of this semifinal. Bruguera unhappy with that call. It was a little bit late, but it will not be changed.
Sergi's complaining he couldn't hear the call. The Z-Man, Zoltan Bogner from Germany. Can't even hear the conversation right now. There's the Z-Man.
Call sticks. Set 2.
There it is. That's the Punisher's just prime time move. He wins the first set, and as soon as you think, you know, you're going to get into the second set, he's going to take that second serve, take advantage of your weakness. You're a little down, you're a little tired.
It used to be with Andre Agassi in years past that he'd have a big win and then he'd sort of slack off and you wouldn't see him come back for a while. He'd sort of give himself time off maybe in the next couple of tournaments, but he wins the US Open, bang, takes about 5 weeks off, comes right back and shows great form in the indoor season.
He's got everything in order.
He does, doesn't he? Bruguera thought he had himself an ace. It was called a let. And
It's an overrule.
Yeah. Zoltan Bogner overrules it. Says, I heard it.
I can't believe they can't come up with the technology that it can, like a sensor that feels lets. I mean, you've got, like, how can you overrule a net cord from way up in the chair like that? That's with this crowd.
Yeah, it's a pretty noisy bunch here in Bercy.
And we have Cyclops. We have, you know, that they're putting some satellite in the air to call lines or something like that.
I'm surprised a guy like you would be willing to risk the human touch, though, lose the net linesman. I like that let cord guy.
He gets hit a lot.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You can take a good shot at him every once in a while.
Anyway, Bruguera does win the point, 30-15. Called wide.
I think that actually the linesmen have gone to sleep for this first game. They're going to be down a break pretty soon.
40-15. And Bruguera holds to start the second set, but Agassi took the first, 6-4. Yes. Breaks open the point with the big two-handed backhand. And not even someone as swift as Agassi can chase that down. Fans pulling for Agassi. And Luke, I think one of the reasons that we talked about the limited grips that Bruguera has, and he can't get to net that way. He's not comfortable out there. He's also so much further back. I mean, Agassi plays so much further into the court. Of course he's going to come to the net more easily than Bruguera. If you're standing 10 feet beyond the baseline like Brugge does, how are you going to get yourself into net?
You look at the European players. You look at Ivanisevic. You look at Rosset. They all play that way. Bruguera, Costa, I mean, tons of them were the American players. Sampras, Chang, Courier, Agassi. All play up.
Yeah.
The backhand down the line.
You really like that shot, don't you?
Oh, he loves it. I mean, from my time with the U.S. Davis Cup team a couple of years back, I mean, he loves that thing. He'll just, you feed him a couple balls. Once he has that down, practice is over. We hit the match.
Is that right?
It's a done deal, yeah.
Once he felt good about that, I know you were a Davis Cup practice partner for a couple of years.
Yeah, I was a victim. I was a victim for a while. They used to just punish me.
Yeah.
Gorman used to keep me out there for days.
Captain Tom Gorman. Tom Gullickson has been reappointed as Davis Cup captain for 95. U.S. plays France, and Yannick Noah is captaining that team again, so that'll be an awful lot of fun. Have a look at the net points one. We've been talking about how ineffective and how seldom Bruguera comes up there.
Well, that's one of the points we were talking about. He's 1 of 3 because he's 6 to 7 feet behind the baseline, sure. Only winning 33%. Agassi, 10 of 14, 71%. Again,
Nice
taking
numbers.
it early, making Bruguera hit off his back foot. That's why Brugge is so effective on clay. The ball bounces a little bit higher and things like that. But even his only win against Andre was in Barcelona, his hometown.
On the dirt.
On his home dirt, his home mud. And so he played well in those conditions, but I still favor Andre day in, day out. I'm telling you, points over. He'll go in. This is how he warms up. He'll go out there, hit a few balls, a little short court, where both players are on the service line, just getting the roll, the feel, loosening up. Hit a few balls, just slugging it down in the middle for a while. Hit a couple of winners as soon as that thing... he'll air it out. You know, hit some winner forehands, take a few serves, a few overheads, then play a couple of points. And as soon as the first one he pops, he sees it, he nails it, practice is over. And
check,
he'll
please.
keep going. Yeah, check, please. And he's ready to go. He's not a big believer in long, drawn-out practices. He feels it. He gets out there. He gets the job done. He's been criticized for it. But, again, he's won Wimbledon. He's won the U.S. Open. He's won Davis Cup for the U.S.
He certainly has. A couple of times. Break point. There is the break. Early break. Won him the first set. He's got an early break in set 2, Andre Agassi. We are at the Paris Open, the 9th and final stop of the Super 9. Some people are more interested in this match than others. Between Andre Agassi and Sergi Bruguera. Called wide.
That was a huge forehand. But Serge is so funny. This guy, his favorite song, he loves to sing this, I'm so sexy, or I'm too sexy. It is so funny. I'm too sexy with this Spanish accent and everything. Oh.
He seems real quiet, but you say he's not really like that.
Oh, not at all. See, he's trying to pop that one down the line, and that's just not his natural shot. Andre used it. This is really a weapon in Andre's arsenal. But going back in the locker room, we'll sit back and a lot of the fan mail comes in and Serge will open it up and say, why don't they send pictures? You know, they want my picture to send to them.
He is a very popular fellow in Spain. Heartthrob.
Great forehand.
Yeah. He was there for it, wasn't he?
Andre had the open forehand anywhere he wanted to go. Serge was under the gun right here. Played dead fish. Just all of a sudden comes alive and rips that thing. Looked like he was on the boat back to Barcelona for a little bit and then gets on this horse and runs it down.
30-15.
Continues to try to block and it's not working. It's either coming too short. He can't really feel the Agassi serve.
First ace for Andre Agassi. Ending the game just as Bruguera did in the last game. Agassi now up 6-4 and 4-2.
No bullets. See if this helps the Bruguera game plan. There you go. Number 4 for the set, 8 for the match. Andre really wants to try to get the second break. Let's just close him out. Look for tomorrow's final. Don't let the experience of Serge get him back into this match. See, Serge is just tired. I mean, that's just a bad double fault.
I was going to say to you, Luke, I mean, you really think Sergi Bruguera is up for a third set? I mean, is he really killing himself to win this match? 30 all. We know how much ability he has.
Again,
I'm just not sure he's going to do it, you know?
Who wants it more? Again, Andre, at the beginning of the day, comes in and says, hey, if I win this tournament, I'm number 2.
That's
as high as he's ever been.
Exactly.
I mean, he wants this. He wanted to get into Frankfurt.
And he got in this week, and now he wants very much to be the number 2 player in the world behind Pete Sampras. A break chance for a 5-2 lead.
You set that ball in no man's land to that Bruguera forehand, and you can just kiss it away. I mean, look at it. He just ripped into it. So much heavy toss. Even if you get a racket on it, it's just going to, like, move that racket in your hand. It's so heavy. It's got teeth. These are the 2 hairdressers here at the Paris Open for all the players and wives.
Again, look how much court he's giving away, Bruguera, trying to go for a big forehand from about 15 feet back.
And he knows if he doesn't hit it just right, Andre's breathing down his net, probably going to come in behind it.
Another break point for Agassi.
The German break ball. There's an ace. Number 9 for the match. One thing about Agassi matches, the kids love to come out and just go nuts. I mean, this guy's a little sedated, but most of them are up here in the crowd with their Nike clothes on, going just crazy. Every Wednesday, they give special student fairs to these kids. And they come out just in groves, and they just start throwing candy on the court. And they always play Agassi on Wednesdays, and kids go nuts.
Another break point chance.
The Punisher.
Andre Agassi 1 game away from tomorrow's final against Marc Rosset of Switzerland. The ATP Championship begins in 10 days' time. Only the top 8 players in the world qualify for this elite field. 2 guys we're watching now have already made it in. ESPN will have daily coverage beginning Tuesday, November 15th, live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, these 2 are in, Sampras and Ivanisevic, and Boris Becker are already in. Michael Chang is not yet in and really has to hope that a lot of things go his way to secure one of the last 3 spots in a terrific event.
There's that backhand down the line, looking for it. And Andre serving for the match at the wheel. Speaking of Frankfurt, they have the most unbelievable trophy there. It's just a crystal thing. And when Andre won it the first year in 1990, he took it home, and the HP said, hey, wait a second. We need that back. You know, we'll give you a replica, but we're not going to give you the big kahuna.
He got a copy of the home game?
And he said, hey, no, wait a second. I won the tournament. You can have the cash. I'll take the trophy.
And did he?
No, he took the cash.
He's a good man. His accountant, I'm sure, was happy.
Mr. Merrill Lynch.
Love 15.
Uncle Merrill.
Wow, one great backhand, and then that one got away from him, 15 all.
Andre's also switched from, again, like the Chang did, they were using this Problin, this Kevlar string, to a gut hybrid.
Going back to the cat stuff, huh?
Just gives you more pop on your shots.
Livelier. Boy.
He's popping it now. Again, he's not on his toes. He's just not moving his feet. The ball's coming to him, and he's just hitting out. You can almost hear the boat. Here's the ball's getting under. Racket's under the ball. He drives through it. Winner. The boat's calling Sergi go back to Barcelona.
Yeah, he's just gonna go for it, isn't he?
Oh, no.
He's not about to try to grub out a win here now.
No. He's got Frankfurt in a few days. He's not playing next week. Go back. Hang out in Barcelona for a little bit. Again, that time, actually, Andre was pushed so far back in the court, he didn't have time to really move back onto the baseline.
A break point chance for Bruguera. Agassi doesn't want to get things complicated now.
We saw what happened against the Chang match.
Exactly right. Boy, Michael Chang was up 5-zip in the first set against Marc Rosset and needed a tiebreak to get his way out of it. Lost some momentum and the match today. Bruguera's still alive.
But he barely missed it. I mean, again, what happened was he got that low volley. He had to hit it with a two-hand backhand, like the match point he won at the U.S. Open. Comes in, right here, the two-hander. Then he just doesn't get the racket switched over and just stones it a little wide.
3-5.
15-0.
Here we go. I mean, again, just like last match, Rosset was digging his way back from 5-0, just playing his way back. Here, Andre was serving for the match, really should have closed it out, didn't really concentrate and nail it down.
And a surging Sergi has his 10th ace of the match.
Andre will just let this one fly. There you
He sure
go.
did. Called that one. Andre Agassi is still up, but he's lost the last few games. Bruguera is watching on. Agassi serving for the match. Luke, you called it before it happened. Agassi just walked off that last point, gave Brugi the ace, and the fans here booed him.
They don't like that, like he got caught down in Argentina during Davis Cup.
Right. Gave away a point.
He's misunderstood so many times, and people, you know.
People don't see that, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens now. Agassi.
That's it. Went right behind him, had the big forehand, could have went either way. Again, didn't really unload with this biggest shot. Here's a different way to look at it. Sergi in trouble, having to recover back into the court and misses it. Into the net. 15-love. So that's a great return.
Right up against his shoes.
Second serve. But again, Bruguera almost moves back to take that, whereas Agassi, when he's returning, moves forward, takes the ball a little bit earlier.
15 all. That's out.
This is trouble. 15-30, Bruguera's getting a second wind.
And now the fans are behind Sergi Bruguera.
They want more match. This is where the lack of big serving comes in, when you have to put it away. And he's missing his first serve. That's killing him. Scary point. These guys were using the court out of control, out of this world. You see Sergi using the soft edge slice backhand to buy himself time to get back into the court. Andre didn't take the ball out of the air. Let Sergi get back into the court. Here it is. Now watch his eyes focused on the forehand, dipping that passing shot, and he's got double break point. People are stomping their feet.
This joint is rocking. Zoltan Bogner trying to call this place to order 2 break points for 5-all.
Great drop volley. He missed a couple so far this match, but executed it perfectly, only because Bruguera is so far back. The people are loving this match. Look at this. Short approach shot, dipping pass. Just enough on it.
1 break point saved.
Look for Andre to serve that one down the tee. That's his serve. He's missed the last couple.
Hold it.
I'm 0 for these days. Oh.
No, you're usually all over it, Luke. That's okay. Missed it big.
But he had to go for it. He ran around it. He was set up for it. Andre toweling off here. Taking your time. When you're serving for the match, take your time. Think about what you want to do out there. That's one of the big problems we're having with this firm 25. How can you give a time violation? Exactly. Can't give a time violation. The people are going for it. You got to think about what you have to do. Execute your shot.
I'm with you on that. But at the Australian Open next year, it'll be 20 seconds in between points. That's out of here.
That's where those balls are flying. You know, he can't find the range. You know, he's hitting it well, and then it just takes off. There's no reason for him to miss that. We saw Chang do that, and Goran Ivanisevic the other day. Just miss out of nowhere.
You don't think that's nerves? I got to give it a little bit to the nerves, no?
He's paying the price. You try to run around his kick second serve, and if you don't hit it deep enough, like Sergi's tired. He's got his head down. Look at him. Andre's into the court. He's on that baseline, moving into the ball. Driving it, coming to the net, looking for the short shot. That's aggressive playing. When you're serving for the match like this, you have to play to win.
Second deuce. That is out.
He went for it. That was his shot. The ball was low. I'm really surprised Andre hasn't served and volleyed yet off of that chip return. This is a perfect time. This is like a Connors time. You know, it's break point. Let's take the momentum right away from Bruguera by serving a good, solid first serve, coming in behind it, knocking off the volley. That's it. See how he was aggressive? He went right behind Bruguera, saw the chip coming where it was going to float over the net and attack the net.
And it's hard to get behind Bruguera because he's so far behind the baseline.
And he's so quick.
And he's
I mean,
so
the guy's
quick.
6'2", and he moves like a gazelle. Look at this. A nice slice backhand for a two-hander. Most two-handers don't have a nice slice backhand, but because he's a good retriever, he missed that because he was forced to hit something a little bit tougher, like a passing shot, instead of just rolling it back into the court.
Deuce number 3.
He gets the net cord. When you're winning, everything works. The double bouncer. I'm sorry, I'm about to beat you. Look at Beach.
Brad Gilbert, he's not even going to pretend that he's sorry about that. Agassi's coach. Talking about winning ugly.
He owns that shot. Actually, look at Serge. You're not going to take that, are you? Come on. Let's play 2. Come on.
Friends.
Yeah, we're
buds.
friends.
What a way.
Come on, I'm too sexy for
Let's
this
play
net court.
2.
Yeah,
Forget it, man. Forget it. It's match point for Andre Agassi.
The 1994 U.S. Open champion going for it.
S'il vous plaît. Merci. S'il vous plaît.
In 1 hour and 30 minutes, Andre Agassi beats his buddy, Sergi Bruguera, 6-4, 6-4.
The spotlight is on 2 great friends, 2 warriors, took it down to the wire. Andre's just too much game. If he wins tomorrow, he's number 2 in the world.
He plays Marc Rosset. They've met 3 times. Rosset has got the edge over him, 2-1. But Andre Agassi is in the Paris Open final. And the fans here seem pretty happy about that.
They're fired up.